In this lesson, you'll learn how to fix the wand using holdout mats. So our wizard key is coming along nicely. There are two places where we can fix the wand using holdout mats. The first one is around frame 33. You see the wand disappears a little bit as it passes over these dark pixels down on the lower part of the green screen. The second one is when the wand is moving really quickly, it disappears for a few frames as well because of all the motion blur. It's also losing a lot of edge detail. So we're going to fix both those things with holdout mats. First step, let's make a couple holdout mats. Select our green screen, hit Control-D to duplicate it, and hit Enter and rename it holdout mat wand 1. Now we can duplicate that, Control-D, and we automatically have a holdout mat wand 2. So we'll start with the first one, and we're going to make the holdout mat only appear for the frames we need it. So that's going to start on frame 33. So go to frame 33 and drag the endpoint for holdout mat wand 1 to 33. Then as we can see, the wand passes behind his leg again on frame 42. So let's set the endpoint to 42 by dragging that over. So now we have the holdout mat in just the frames we need it. We can make it visible and solo it and key it. Go to Effects, Keying, Key Light. Now zoom in, and we'll select our screen color. Select the green next to the wand, these dark pixels, and let's increase the clip black a little bit under screen matte to get rid of some of this noise in the background, just a skosh. Looks good. And make it a little bit less rough by increasing the screen softness to 2. That looks good. So let's roto it. Select your pen tool and draw a mask just around the wand. Getting a little bit of the leg for the overlap, but not too much. Now go to Masks, and we're going to set that mask feather to 2 to blend it in better with the other layers, and we'll set from add to none so we can see what's going on in the rest of the frame as we roto it. So let's set a mask path by clicking on the stopwatch next to mask path for frame 33, and we can navigate by hitting page up and page down to move forward and backward a frame. So we move forward a couple frames, and we can double click on it and adjust the position of the mask path, changing its shape as needed so it encompasses the entire wand and we're not missing anything. Let's move forward a couple more frames, and again we're adjusting it, rotoing this wand for just the frames we need it for to hide the problem of a disappearing wand. And move forward again, adjust a little bit. It's not having to be that tight a roto because we have a pretty good key for this because we're just focusing on this one little area. Looks like we're almost off screen. It passes behind his leg on this frame, and we no longer need to roto it. So with all those frames rotoed, we can just set it from none to add and unsolo it, and we have completed our first holdout mat. So now for the second one, let's go see which frame we need to start for that. That's going to be later in the shot where we're getting all the motion blur, starting on frame 66. So let's take our holdout mat 1, 2, and make it start in frame 66 by dragging in the endpoint. Then we go forward, and we see that the one becomes solid and stops blurring at frame 79. So let's drag the endpoint, frame 79, to there. So now we have the holdout mat just for the frames we need it for. So again, let's make it visible, solo it, and we'll key it. Go to Effects, Keying, select Key Light, and we'll select the screen color of the dark green next to the wand. Now for this one, we're not going to reduce the noise in the background at all because if we do that, we're going to totally lose all the detail of our wand, which looks like noise to key light. So we're going to do more work with the roto and less work with the key. So let's start the roto right now. Select the holdout mat, select your pen tool, and again we're going to draw a mask around the wand. just the wand. And now hit M to show our masks. We'll set that feather to 2 again, and set the mask visibility to none so we can see what's going on. Set another mask path by hitting on the stopwatch. And again, we're going, like we did with the other one, we are using page down to advance and adjusting the mask as needed so it encompasses the wand. However, for this one, we're going to need to be a little bit tighter because we have a noisier key. Because of all the motion blur, we needed to make it that way so we didn't lose any detail. So now it's okay to overlap the hand a little bit, but try to not to do too much. Okay, so now it passes behind the hand, so we can set the mask to be in the middle of the hand. And the next frame pops up the other side. So in this one, we're going to have to get it much tighter because of all this noise around it. Get a tight mask right around the wand. And we're having to set keys on every frame practically. Which is okay because there aren't that many more frames to do. Let's see what's going on here. It's so noisy it's hard to see, but you can see where the wand is. It's very blurry, but it's distinct. And the next frame, it's moving pretty quickly now, so there's going to be a lot of motion blur. So this frame is going to be more of a triangle shape. You can see on the next frame more clearly what's going on. So we'll just adjust it to just encompass the wand. And we're going to need to adjust the shape of this to be a sharper edge. So to do that, select your pen tool, hold down the Alt button, and it gives you this little tool that allows you to adjust the shape of the mask. By clicking it and dragging to the left, we can make a tighter edge, which is what we need for this frame. So with that frame done, hit page down to go to the next one, and we'll adjust it again to go around the wand. Double clicking on it to get the marquee box, and then rotating it. And then we'll zoom in and adjust the shape of this mask. So we're just surrounding the wand, and not the noise around it. And not his head so much either. Looks like we're going to need to add another point to this. So to do that, take your pen tool and click on the edge of the mask with a little plus sign that adds a point to it, which we can then move so the mask goes around his head. I also want to adjust this roundness of this one. I'm holding down the Alt key again. Get this little tool allows us to make it more rounded. So that looks good for that frame. Hit forward again. Getting to the home stretch for the roto for this layer. And this is a little bit more complicated one. I'm going to have to adjust it so it goes around the head and making sure we're getting the entire wand. That looks good. Hit page down for the next one. Now we're getting a lot less motion blur because the wand is moving less far each frame. Okay, that looks good. All right, couple more to do. Double click on it to make the marquee box, and then we're going to select the individual mask points and adjust the shape of the mask, making sure we get the entire wand. And this looks like the wand is getting pretty solid now, but we can make the roto a little less tight because there's a little less noise in the background that we have to avoid. That's because this part of the green screen is not as shadowy and noisy as the other part. I think we're almost done. There we are. That's the last frame. So we have rotoed the wand. We can just set it from none to add, and then unsolo it. Set this to fit. Toggle off the mask visibility, and we have solved the problem of the disappearing wand by using a holdout mat. So now you know some more techniques for using holdout mats and motion blurred items.